calling?
Say again, Jerry, sorry.
Has anybody been calling? Anybody made any appointments or anything? I don't know.
In terms of clients?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
no,
Okay. Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
Everybody sounds like they're all gung ho about it, but when it comes time to pick up that telephone, it weighs 1,000 pounds, man, sometimes.
Yeah. Exactly. Okay, I just want, oh, hold on, there's Robert. Let's get Robert in the room.
Is there some, have you sent anything over to me? Slides or scripts or
So
anything?
I've got all that now,
Okay.
Jerry. I've just been, what I've had to do is, so the links that I was sending out weren't working. So what I've done is I've got all the videos that Paul's recorded so far, and I've put them in onto a YouTube channel and tested it. So I'm going to get all the presentations that he's been sharing and then PDF them, and then I'll send out the link with the corresponding presentations once I've got that all sorted out. So that should be coming out today or tomorrow at the latest.
All right.
Hey, Robert, how you doing?
Hey, Robert.
How's it going?
All right, man. How are you?
Can't complain. Another day.
Good, man.
Even if they complain, nobody listens, right?
Nobody
Exactly.
listens.
Exactly.
And Paul, can I also make another suggestion just from watching the videos back? When you start sharing your screen, can you display the participants? So, and that you change, but you do that by changing the view in the top right hand corner. So it's either select gallery or multi-speaker, and then I can always see who's in attendance.
So I click on the multi-speaker.
Yeah, click on that one.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've got nothing to share.
Yeah. Oh, you're not sharing today. We're just role playing. Well, then this is fine.
But let me share my screen anyway, and let me see if how I make sure I know how to do that, because I can see everyone.
Okay. Yeah.
And then where is that gone now?
It probably jumped onto.
Doesn't give me a view now.
Click on the zoom at the bottom of your screen.
Here.
Yeah, and then go to the click on that one. Is that not popping up?
That's this.
Yeah, that's interesting. Anyway, that's okay. This is fine. If you're not sharing anything, it's okay. I'll check the recording afterwards and we'll see.
Unless I can set it to multi-speaker before I share. Let me try that. Oh, that might work. Hold on. I just did this. Look. Oh. All four people were on the screen then when I did that, but
yeah, don't worry about it. I'll check this video afterwards and see how it comes out.
Sure. Yep. All right. Doesn't look like anybody else is joining, so over to you guys. No, I'm joking. So obviously we did this is a bonus day that I just wanted to offer everybody in case of questions, Q&A, if you want to do any role playing, if you want to be an arsehole client and watch me die on the spot, or Robin for that matter. I might do some delegation here, guys. You might see some effective delegation.
Okay.
So what were you thinking about today? Any thoughts about what you need from today? What are you guys thinking?
A script and a calendar. I'm just going to go with this as a BDR or an SDR. My first goal is to get appointments with business owners, people responsible for hiring, with you folks, and then pay attention during those while you are in those however long meetings with that client, and pay attention to how you close them, and then I'll start doing my own closes.
Okay. No? So when you say a calendar, you said a script, which we talked about yesterday, and we can certainly send scripts. But what do you mean by a calendar?
Well, I need whoever I'm going to set the point with you or with Robin.
It depends on when and with who and what
exactly.
form.
So I just need your calendar availability so I can set the appointment. Mr. Business Owner, can you spare 10 minutes?
Yeah. So Robin, I know what Jerry's talking about. So Jerry wants either me or you.
Okay. Yeah. I got you. I think so. I think what I'm going to do, I've sent you it. I don't know. Oh, no, you haven't got it yet, Jerry, because I haven't set up your email. I need to set up your email, and then what you'll get. And Robert, I'm not sure if you've seen this. We use Slack. Have you heard of Slack? We use Slack as our messaging board, and we use that as instant messaging. So Paul and I and you and Robert and everybody else are all on Slack. So you can always just ping quickly on Slack and just say, hey, you guys, I need you for 5 minutes. Is anybody available? And then we'll respond.
Okay.
I know what you're asking for. You want calendar access to see our visibility
I don't want to
and
set
availability.
Yeah, exactly.
It's very fluid, Jerry. That's the challenge. Is we're moving around a lot, so you just have to kind of keep us informed.
Okay.
You're not going to start a client meeting and then talk to them 5 minutes later. You're going to at least have a day's notice or so. So
I suspect 2 or 3, 5 at the most appointments with you folks. I'll be doing my own after that.
Right.
I think let me look into it. I should be able to address it, Jerry. I'll have a look at it for you. No problem.
We can run through something today if you want to do that, Jerry. If you want to run through a script, and I can show you how not to do it.
You do want us to close our own, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you need get your upon your feet. Yeah,
the
more I mean, you can lean on us, but you're also subject to our availability as well. And we've got, I don't know how many reps we've got now, 15, 17 or something like that are out there. So what about yourself, Robert? What were you thinking about today?
I'm pretty good. I'm just here to get information, watch how things work, and more so I'm just waiting for all the literature and stuff that we talked about. It seems like before I hopped on, you guys were talking about Robin getting all that stuff situated, like I was saying, to put it in a PDF or put it in a PowerPoint and just sending it, because the file size would be a lot smaller and all that stuff. So, but yeah, I'm basically just here for the free Wi-Fi.
Sounds good.
I'll let Robin fill you in on what he was saying to Jerry. I'm not sure when you hopped in and what you heard. So
I think you caught the tail end of it. The gist of it is that I'm putting all the videos onto a YouTube channel so everybody can access it, and all the presentations will be PDF and shared out, and then I'll send the links, the corresponding presentations with the links to the video presentations. And
Robert was one of those, Robin, that had a challenge with them first videos that I didn't record to the cloud. So
yeah, that's the ones that we're talking about. So they're all fixed. Yeah, they're all fixed.
Robin's done it to YouTube. So apparently I'm a YouTube sensation now. I'm going to have at least 5 views by the end of today. So
well, you do have other ones from 6 years ago, I saw.
I do.
Not those ones, is it?
It's the leadership and public speaking.
Don't know. Maybe there's all sorts of stuff out there. I'm just glad you didn't find the ones Robin was talking about. No, I'm joking. You'll see me in a whole different light.
Yes, I think it was like when you were doing like a course on public speaking and stuff, and you're speaking about like your takeaway from it.
Oh, golly, was I on a very plain backdrop?
No, I believe it was like your office or something like that. It was like a room or something you were in.
Yeah,
it's not the one when you fainted, is it, Paul?
If that's still out there, what'd you say?
I said it's not the one when you fainted, is it?
No, hopefully not. Hopefully not. If that's the one I'm thinking of, that was 2014, 15, something like that.
Like you said, do your research.
Was I being interviewed by someone, or it seemed like an interview? Was there another person who was asking me questions?
I think they asked the questions, but all they were recording was your answer or something like that.
Yeah.
Your feedback or something like that.
Yeah, that was I was helping. What's that guy called now? I'm still Scott something. So I was helping him put. He was going on the. He was building courses out. What's the big channel for the courses? What's the big platform for courses now? What's it called?
For what?
Where you can go and talk about courses. Yeah, that's the one.
I
Yeah,
just
this is
found it,
thick on
Paul.
beard, by the way. I take it off at night and put it on the shelf. So yeah. Yeah, that was 2014, I think. Something like that. I've had a beard since 2015, so I think yeah, it's a while ago. Yeah, there's a few of those. Scott something, I've forgotten his name now, but I was doing some course material for him on leadership and coaching and things like that. I was going through my
Rob
certificate.
Scott. Rob Scott is the name.
Rob
Sounds
Scott.
about right.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, there's a few out there. So yeah, good. All right. Well, Robin's doing the links on YouTube, doing the PDFs. We can certainly give you scripts and all of that stuff. Did you want to run through anything today in terms of, you know, like a live call, or say a live call with us, or any scenarios that
Yeah,
you think?
yeah, just let's role play.
Okay, so Jerry, you're going to sell to me, and I'm going to be an arsehole. Ready? Go.
I'm going to sell to you. Huh?
Okay, so set up the scenario. Set the scenario, and
You're going to pitch me. I'm a business owner, and you know, you got a hold of me, and I want to hear how the pitch sounds.
okay, you've turned your video off there.
And I got some ideas, but
Is your video off, Jerry?
my video is I'm sorry, it was off.
Yeah. So what I'm going to assume is that we have been in contact, because I'm never going to call you out the blue and pitch on something you don't know. So I'll have at least sent you an email and or a LinkedIn connection, and you've accepted, and we've set up a meeting. Fair?
So is that the is that, I know we talked about this, but there's a lot of time put forth to make contact with them prior to talking with them. You think it's best that we do a little whatever research we do on them, we send them an email,
Absolutely.
and then we
You
call.
can't, they're never going to accept a meeting for someone out the blue. Never. It's never worked in my entire life.
So they need an email first.
Email, link to anything just to break the ice, because you're going to want to arrange a meeting, right? So if you go to somebody out the blue and say, can we have a meeting to discuss staffing, they're just going to say no, or they'll ignore you at best. So you want to build some kind of rapport ahead of the meeting, so they at least know what you're calling for.
And okay, and you've always done that with email and LinkedIn and just a message, or just
Whatever it takes. Yeah.
Well, I think if I heard you correctly, Jerry, I think the example that you're looking for is, and I understand what Paul's saying. I understand what you're saying as well, Jerry. So to kind of act as a mediator between the two, because I've been in the situation where I have had to make a cold call, where you make a cold call to the client, and you might have reached out on LinkedIn, you might have sent an email. They both may have gone ignored, so you then follow that up with a phone call. So at least they're going to kind of know your name. But at that point, you've probably got about 60 seconds to make an impression on that call. And that 60-second call shouldn't be a hard sell. It should be a really gentle intro. And hey, and it might go something like this. And I'm just going to wing it ad hoc here. Say, hey, Jerry, this is Robin Hodgson from PRC calling. Look, I've sent you a couple of emails. I've sent you a couple of LinkedIn requests. Just wanting to touch base with you. We are a staffing and recruitment agency. I wondered if you had any needs, and what I'd love to be able to do is to schedule some time with you as and when you have availability. I appreciate you might not be able to speak right now.
yeah.
Would
Yeah.
you point out that we have other things in like to play for them as well? Like say, hey, we do like
No. And so that very first touch point, the very first touch point, you're never ever going to go. You're never going to go hard sell and try and cover absolutely everything that we are capable of doing, because they're just going to switch off immediately. They're just going to think, oh, back here's another cold caller. They're just trying to get me. So you've got to warm them up, right? You've got to have a little reach around and kind of just kind of see if you can generate that interest. And that first touch point is going to be kind of, it's an introduction. I'm Robin. So you get your name across, you get the name of the company across, you get the what you do as an overall. There's three big landing points. I'm Robin. I'm with staffing recruitment agency, and the company name is PRC Group Services. Yeah. And that's it. You want to kind of leave it at that. And you know, sorry, Paul, I've just jumped all over
No,
this.
no, carry on. No, it's fine.
It's those are three landing points, and you don't want to overwhelm them. How many times have you picked the phone up yourself? And you know, Paul and I are slightly different. Paul, if he doesn't recognize the phone number, he won't answer the phone. I answer the phone to every phone call, which then seems to premeditate more calls. But the number of times I answer the phone, hi, this is Robin. Hello, this is Andy from, and you just boop, I'm instantly hanging up, and so you know we don't want that to be the first impression, because if that's the first impression, the likelihood is the next time they call, if they do recognize your number, boop, they're blocking it and it's not coming out. And that's why Paul's approach, and it's a good one, it's just you've reached out on LinkedIn. And then, you know, the inquisitive ones might go, oh, who's this? I'm going to have a look. Because Paul, PRC. And if they had a need, if they had an immediate need, boom, then they might pick up the phone and contact you immediately. And then, you know, when they're ringing you, game changer. Then, but your first touch point for me is all about introduction. Would love to talk more. When's convenient? Do you have anything that we can help you with?
Got it. So more personable than less sell.
Absolutely. I mean, you don't even want to think about selling on the first call, in my opinion. You know, unless somebody's reaching out to you and asking you specifically for help, then your first call, your first touch point it's a very gentle intro. Would you agree with that, Paul?
Yeah, I was just actually bringing this slide up from, I think, is that day 2, I believe. And I'll just bring it back up and then share my screen again. Just to Robin's point. Hopefully you remember this. Remember this slide?
Gotcha.
Introduction, relevance, value, ask. And that's what Robin did exactly to that T right there. This is who I am. This is why I'm calling, basically. This is what we can offer. And I'd love to get 10 minutes with you or whatever.
And these are the slides that I'm going to PDF and then send that out along with the videos that when Paul presented them first go around. So you'll be able to kind of rewatch those videos if you need, refer to the slide deck and kind of start. Because, you know, we can give you a guideline on a script, but your script will always need to be personalized. It will need to be relevant to you, to your area, to your audience, to your, you know, just the accent, you know, the region. You know, you might be able to find a common ground immediately. Robert, where are you based again? You're up
Your
north,
own
aren't you?
dynamics. Your own dynamics. Every
Yeah,
class.
exactly. You know, whether you're going to talk about San Diego Chargers or whether you're going to talk about NASCAR or soccer or football, you know, the more that you can get somebody engaged on a personal level, the more they're going to talk to you. And if you find a common thread, a common ground, then poof, that's a game changer. Because you could sit and talk to them for 30 minutes just chewing the fat about personal shit. And then you can turn it at the end and go, hey, you know what? Actually, so there was a reason why I called you. I would love to talk to you about our services that we offer here. And you know, that it's everything is fluid. Everything is fluid. And that's why it's almost, I find it, I couldn't read a script because I'm reactive. I can have some, and I actually have wrote some kind of intros, which actually reminds me, I've got them. And it could be just opening lines, and you could, and I've got 10 opening lines that you could choose from, and you might pick one that resonates with you, but then you could also write your own as you start making those calls, and you start finding a familiar success pattern that's worked for you. But remember, every person that you deal with is different, and they're going to react differently as well.
Gotcha. Yeah, I would use the soccer thing as an example yesterday with Paul, and I asked him about, hey, what about connecting on a personal level? And I use that as an example.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and what I was going to say then is, you know, we go through these slides, and like Robin said, it's you want to find what's most natural for you. You know, we all have different styles, but you know, remember what I said when we started all the slides way back is about your prospecting and your analysis. Just pick up one piece of information to take to the call with you. It doesn't matter what it is, like what Robin said, it can be anything, but it's just to break the ice. And it's to show them that you've done some research as well. You know, hey, I see that you're based in Boston. You know, I've got a friend that lives right there, you know, in such a place. It doesn't matter what it is. Oh yeah, my friend, yeah, I know where that is. It's right around the corner. Oh, okay, that's it. You know, and it just sets the conversation off, and you can take it from there. What I was going to do, if you want, it was to take it from that moment on where my emails where we say, cool, so there is a reason for me calling today, and take it, you know, that, but you have to have that introduction, that icebreaker, what Robin just put in the chat there. You need to build that up, and that's why that prospecting and the analysis, research, help, whatever you want to call it, is really important before you approach a company. I think I've shared this many times. I've been in a room, and thankfully it's only happened once, where I was walking side by side with somebody, and she'd asked me for some feedback. She said, I'll do all the time, but can you give me some feedback? Sure. And we walked into a client, she'd never met them before. She'd built up, she'd sent an email, you know, they knew why we were coming in. And she walked in and sat down. She said, hi, my name is, I won't say a name because it's quite, there's not many of those names around. You can fish her out. And she said, my name is, and I'm from this company. Do you have any jobs for me? And I just died on the spot. I was like, whoa, let's just take a step back. Oh, that was a good joke, you know, and tried to turn it and, you know, tell us more about what you're looking for, tell us more about the company. But, you know, and so you want to build it slow. You don't want to go straight for the jugular. But once you get on that, you know, you do want to be intentional and direct about what you're on the call for, but you also want to be listening intently to the word, not just what they say, but how they say it and what words they say in there. So we can role play that if you want to, or you know, but I could do 10 role plays today in all different scenarios. Can have everything from a good client to a really bad client, and you probably won't use any of them because it's natural to you, you know. So you have to build out your framework, and that's why I said that framework of introduction, relevance, your value, and then you ask. You don't have to go dump, but you would need to get those in wherever, and then fit your other stuff in between. You know, but icebreakers are critically important. I think nowadays, you've got 7 to 12 seconds to get someone's attention. I think is the timeline nowadays. So and the reason that I don't really do much cold calling anymore. In fact, I don't remember the last time I've done a cold call. I always do some kind of email or you know, LinkedIn connection or whatever. There's always something that I've done prior to that. So when I get on the call, they at least know why I'm calling, what the reason why I'm calling for. Yeah, there's all the elevator pitches.
So just what I'm showing here, guys, is
Just blow it up a bit, Robin.
Okay, hang on. How's that?
Yeah, good.
This is a pain though. Once I start sharing, I lose my screen. Ah, there you guys are. You're on my other monitor. Just bear with us 1 second. There we go. So yeah, I went through, and I'll send this out to you, Robert, Jerry. I'll send it out to everybody. You know, just here's 10, 30-second elevator pitch that we can talk about, and it's all of these are effectively saying the same thing. There's just a different way of doing it. And then what I put at the bottom of all of this, and this is why I'm going to use Slack as well as for collaboration, is that, and it might be you, Robert. You might find something that just works every single time you do it. Share that on Slack. Share it with others, and I'm going to ask everybody else to do the same. So if Jerry finds something that it just really resonates and lands, then You know, throw that out there. These aren't set in stone. These are meant to be guidelines that you can look at, say, oh, I like that one, I might have a go at that, and just it's a feel. It's a feel. Honestly, once you start talking to clients, or talking to anybody, you kind of get a sense of who they are and what they are and what they like and what they don't like, so you can adapt accordingly.
Say those and be and like so Robin said, be yourself, you know, just develop your own. So what do you want to do? Do you want to run through some scripts? Do you want to
Yeah, just, I don't know, some, one or two role plays.
say again, Jerry?
One or two role plays would be nice, just to get a feel of it.
Sure. So I am more than happy to do that. But why don't I reverse it on you and have you go first and let me listen
Okay,
and see and try and plug some gaps in for you, or do you want me to go first?
I can go first. I have a question. So I know there's some staffing agencies that they ask about warehouse or particular roles. What role am I? We're more of a higher end, right? We're looking for. Do you have any staffing needs for warehouse or?
Well, it depends what client you call in, Jerry, and that's why I said when you said a moment ago about role playing is when I said let's set it up, is set the scenario, right? Because if you're approaching a client, then there's a reason why you're approaching that client, probably because they're advertising for people. So you know that they need staff and you should know at least what they're looking for.
Okay.
So in this scenario, let's say that we are calling ABC Manufacturing and I'm going to do a mindset thing with you here in a second, just to kind of show you the difference. And even though I say it out loud, there'll be a huge difference in how you approach it. But ABC Manufacturing, you've sent an email, they've responded, and you know, I'll let Robin be the client, and then I'll just hop in and out. If I put my hand up, I just want to say something, you just pause.
Okay.
And Robin's the VP of Sales, and he's advertising for a sales manager for the southeast of the US, and it's to sell, you know, boxes. That's what they manufacture, cardboard boxes, and they do the whole thing from start to finish. They get the raw material and they make full cardboard boxes with it all printed and everything. So you've got the full service, and he needs a sales manager for the southeast of the US. Right, Robin, and you've seen on LinkedIn, you've connected with him on LinkedIn, you've sent an email, and Robin said, yes, interested, let's have a conversation. So assume when you get on that call that that Robin is at least aware of what you do. All right. Now the mindset thing that I'm going to set first is Robin is a very, very easy passive client, and you're guaranteed that he's going to give you business. All right.
Okay.
That's put me on the spot.
How do you
I didn't
guarantee?
sign up for this. I was
how
meant
can
to be
you-
watching.
How can somebody guarantee?
Well, you get for hopping into calls, but you guarantee the business. And I want, and there's a reason why I want you to have that mindset, and the reason that I want Robin to be a very nice, very
Assumption.
passive client that's going to roll over and give you because he's desperate for a sales manager, and you know you're the guy. So I want him to very, very easy.
Shoot.
So you jumped on the phone, 12 noon.
Okay.
You called him. He's picked up the phone.
Here we
boom.
go.
Ring, ring.
Hello, this is Robin speaking.
Hi, Robin. This is Jerry with PRC Group Services. How you
Who?
doing today? PRC Group Services. I sent you an email.
Jerry, just the man. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well. How about yourself? Huh?
I'm doing well, thanks. What you up to today?
6'2", believe it or not, and yeah.
Good stuff. So, how can I help you? What's going on, my friend?
So I see that you've. First of all, thank you for taking the call. I appreciate it. I know you're busy. I'll be as quick as possible with this.
Nah, there's no need. There's no rush. I'm good.
Oh.
I'm not stuck for time right now.
Lovely.
You caught me at a good time, actually.
Lovely. Perfect. All right then. Well, I see that you have you're hiring for you have a sales manager for the Southeast region for your what you do. What do you do?
We make boxes. We make boxes.
High-end cardboard
Yeah,
boxes.
That's right.
So forth. Yeah, lovely.
We do. Yeah, we have such a difficult time filling this position. We are having such a difficult time. Do you know anybody?
Well, we do have some candidates in mind. We'd like to introduce them to you.
Really?
Of
Tell me
course.
more.
Pardon?
Tell me more.
I'll tell you more. All right. Then where do I go with that now? That's why we're doing this.
Well, you've got the business, basically. You've got the business now.
Because he's asking buying questions, basically. I mean, he's
I mean, if somebody said that to me, I would, I'd be saying, we need to. The first thing we need to do is get some terms and conditions in place. Is that something I can send over to you real quick while we're talking?
I think this is what they're looking for, Paul, a little bit. Do you want to keep putting them through the torch? Or you want to help out a little bit? And do you want to be the prospect there? Now I'll remain the client still.
So let me ask you a question.
Go on.
Do we have people to fill those slots right away, or just say we do? Of course.
No, we're going to have to recruit them. We're going to have to find them. We don't have as much as clients think that we have people in cardboard boxes on the shelf and we just pump them up and send them out. We have to find them.
We certainly don't let them know. I mean, we certainly give them the impression that yes, we have people. This is what we do.
Yeah. Right?
More reassure them that we can find one.
I think how I would approach it, Jerry, would be kind of, for me, absolutely. It would be absolutely, Jerry. I think, this is what we do. This is what we specialize in. We are a staffing and recruitment firm. The very reason why we survive is to find people to fit roles. And so, yeah, I don't have somebody sitting on the shelf right now that I can just pluck from you and send to you. But why don't we talk about the specifics of what you're looking for? What do you need in this person to be successful? Have you had anybody in this role previously that was brilliant and then they moved on? And what were their traits? Or have you had multiple people in this role before who haven't been successful? And why was that? What were the challenges that they faced? And so where you want to go with it. So when you've got a receptive client, when you have a receptive client who's kind of, actually, you know what, Jerry, I've got all the time in the world. Yes, I'm desperate to fill this problem. It's been a challenge for me. It's taking time. It's costing me money. You need to just slow down a little bit and say, okay, well, so tell me what your pain points are. What have been the challenges that you've faced? What is wrong with the candidates that have applied? How many candidates have applied? And you're just going to use the opportunity to talk. Now, in a scenario like this, where you've got somebody, and let's for argument's sake say, because I am going to try to send you leads that are in the region. So if this guy was sat on your doorstep in San Diego, you'd say, tell you what, why don't we meet off-site? Let's go grab a coffee. We can sit down, because you need to be relaxed as well. You're going to be at your best when you're relaxed. When you're ringing that candidate and you're nervous yourself, which happens, right? That happens to the best sales guys, the best salespeople. You want to kind of make them feel relaxed. You want to be relaxed, and you want to say, okay, talk me through the pain points. What are the challenges that you're having? And because once you understand their needs, then your reassuring what you're going to leave behind is, okay, I got you, brother. You've told me everything that you need. Let me go away, feed that back to our recruiting team, and I'm going to come back with 2 or 3 options that I think will be a perfect fit for you, that'll be able to represent you well, that'll be reflective of your company, they'll have the same culture that you're looking for. And you're going to be asking, what's the culture of the company? Why have people been successful? Why have people failed? What's your management style? What's the type of people that you like?
And you told me you basically told me where to go. I mean, you said, oh, having a heck of a time filling this role and so forth. And so I was, in my conversation, well, why do you think you're having a hard time with this role? Why is it hard to fill? Who can you think of that's been successful in that role? What kind of traits did they have, and so forth?
Yeah. But that was a nice, easy client, remember?
Yeah,
And you're not going to
yeah.
get a nice, easy client every single time.
Yeah, in a perfect world, but I don't think maybe one of those a week, don't you think?
Oh yeah, yeah,
At
The
best.
reason I did that mindset thing with you, Jerry, is that's how you should approach every call. Is I'm guaranteed this business, and they're gonna love me, and they're gonna think I'm the best thing since sliced bread.
So assumption,
Get yourself in the right mindset.
all the way through, it's assumption. They need what I got. They want this. I'm
Correct.
helping them. I am a good fit for them, right?
Yeah.
Assumption.
Yeah.
and
All the way through.
every company, every single company that I know is looking for those types of people. They're looking for the people who want to work, or hard workers, will be great, and they're looking for salespeople. And that's why we want to stay kind of mid to senior level positions, rather than blue collar and temps and contract work where it's fleeting and it's challenging finding reliable, dependable people. Typically, but not always, sales people like yourselves, because you guys have done this, Robert and Jerry, you've both done this yourself. You're motivated, you're inspired to earn more money. So you want to be present, you want to be there, and that's and every company is looking for those people that have that mindset.
Okay.
Don't forget that framework of introduction and relevance, value, and ask. Those are the 4 things that you need to weave into your conversation. Because if you miss one of them, obviously you're not going to miss your introduction, but if you miss relevance, you're going to lose the client. You need to keep them, you're assuming they know why you're calling, but you do want to remind them. I sent you an email yesterday. I appreciate the reply, and I do appreciate the time today, right? It sounds really basic, but I mean, I've been there where it's like, Robin started it and said, "Who are you?" Sometimes you'll get that because they don't remember who they're talking to, because it's just back to back to back, The other thing that I would add in there is I would, as often as I possibly can, is I always ask how much time they've got. So how much time have we got today? I want to be really respectful of your time. If it's 20 minutes, then I'm going to speed things up. But if you've got a little longer, then I'm more happy to go into a little bit more detail. What does that look like for you? Whilst you're being respectful of the time, you're also getting them into the habit of talking. You want them to be talking. If you're talking the whole time, it's highly unlikely it's going to transfer into business. So you want them talking. You want them telling you what's going on and explaining what's going on.
Why don't you go over the 4 points again? Roll that in together. You have a slide on it, right?
Introduction, relevance,
Yeah.
value, and then you ask.
Okay, so do that real quick and just I'm the business owner. You call me. Just run that through. I want to hear what it sounds like in time.
So, hi Jerry, this is Paul from PRC Group Services. I would then go into, I sent you an email yesterday. Thanks for the reply. Thanks for your time today. I would ask you how much time you've got. Then we're going to move on to the relevance. What I'm calling you for today is, I noticed that you're advertising for a sales manager is that role still open?
Okay.
Yes, right. And then you're going to go into the value. This is going to sound cheesy, but I'm just going to say off the top of my head is, what we specialize in is finding and recruiting high performing sales reps that drive revenue and growth for companies. We've got some of the best recruiters in the business, and that's all we specialize in. That's what we do. And we've got some added benefits around that, which is training, consulting, blah, 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 that I can happily talk to you about. And then you ask at the end of it, obviously you're going to ask whatever that relevance. If we get to the end of the call and you're happy and I'm happy, I would openly ask you, Jerry, in your mind, what would be next steps from here? If you're not offering me that, then I'd say, well, how about this, Jerry? How about I send you over the terms and conditions? You can take a quick look at them. Let me know if you've got any questions, and maybe we can reconvene in a day or two. How does that sound?
Okay, that sounds good. That's perfect.
Yeah.
If they ask what recruiting company we use, do we just say PRC recruiting company, or because there's a lot of reputable ones out there? I just don't want to be like caught off guard where they're like, "Well, who do you use?" And it's like, "Oh, well, crap."
No, we're all one company. Our recruiters are internal with us. Yeah. So you just say we have our own internal recruiters, our own internal recruitment team. And we have vertically driven specialist recruiters that look after very particular people.
We have a special set of skills. It's from the movie.
What's
Okay,
going through your mind, Jerry? I can see you in deep thought. I can hear
No,
the
no.
comments going round.
Robert, why don't you do one and I'll listen and see, how it goes.
Man, I was just here for the Wi-Fi, but okay.
Are you selling and Robin's a client again?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I can I guess we'll do someone searching for marketing manager,
Yep.
say ABC marketing.
Yeah.
I guess a kind of distant client. They're a little apprehensive and
Hesitant.
yeah,
So the
hesitant.
mindset is hesitant. Okay.
Already
convincing.
reached out through email. They sent, or I reached out through LinkedIn. They sent me a message back saying they had very limited time, but they're willing to give it a shot.
Okay. Sounds good.
It's utter nonsense to me if somebody says that, by the way. I've got limited time, but I'm going to jump on a call with you anyway. So, but anyway, yeah, go ahead. Right.
Okay, I'll be the one that reaches out.
Yeah.
Okay. Hello.
I'll answer for you. Hello, this is Robin speaking.
Hey, Robin. This is Robert with PRC Service Group or Group Services. Just reaching out. I sent you a message through LinkedIn. Thank you for replying back. I really appreciate it. Just wondering if you had a couple minutes today to talk. If you have more, I'd love to give you a little bit more in-depth conversation about what we do and what we can help you out with. I noticed that you guys are recruiting or looking for a marketing manager. Just wondering what's you guys' issues with finding one, I guess. Have you guys had people in there? Have they been not working out? Just wondering, get your point on that.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, there was a lot there. So I'm sorry, who is this? What did you say name?
My name is Robert of PRC Group Services. We're a staffing
Okay.
recruiting company.
And you said you sent me an email, yeah?
Yeah, I reached out to you through LinkedIn. You replied back to me yesterday. You said you had a
Okay.
couple minutes of your time to talk to me.
Yes, yeah, okay, yes, I remember now. Yes.
Robert, just slow down.
Yeah, I
Right.
You're going through three things.
Yeah.
And
So,
you're trying to get to the win.
So before I kind of give you the response, you went on a whole, like, let's cover everything. Like
Sorry.
I was like, catch your breath, Robert. Take your time.
Sorry.
But no, it's okay.
Footnotes. Got it.
So okay, I'll play along. So yeah, okay, yeah, Robert. Yes, I remember. Yes, I do. I am available right now, and yes, we are still looking. So yeah, so tell me a little bit about what how will your company specialize in this, and how can you fill this role for me?
We specialize in finding the best of the best for every position possible.
Okay. And so how long have you been with PRC?
A couple years.
Hey, Robert, just jumping in. Don't forget what's relevant here that could add a massive amount of value to someone like, in this case, Robin, is how much marketing experience you've personally got in your background. So that's why Robin, when he talks to manufacturing clients, there's nobody that can pull the wool over his eyes. He's been in manufacturing 30+ years, and now he's in staffing and recruitment.
Gotcha. Well, I can, I guess, relate on the manager and the marketing side of it because I have multiple years in both. So,
Well, I was just
saying
saying,
that. Yeah, just I've personally got 10+ years in marketing myself. I really enjoyed marketing, but I've now switched over to the recruitment and staffing side, and that's what I specialize in with my recruiters, is finding very, very high level, high performing marketing people for companies like yourself.
gotcha.
So that's that relevance piece. and it's also part of the value add as well.
Gotcha. So I can say like I have 10 plus years of marketing and manager experience, so I kind of know what to look for in a person and fit them in the position as well as possible.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. So with playing the hesitant mindset, it'll be okay. Yeah, Robert. Yeah. So appreciate you reaching out, and yes, I did reply to you on LinkedIn. And tell you what, Robert, can you do me a favor? Because I am heading into a meeting shortly. Could you send me just a short email, kind of recapping who you are, what you do, and put 1 or 2 slides together about what your specialties are. Once you do that, if you send me that, I'll then get back to you with the job description, and then let's schedule some more time in so we can have a longer conversation. I'm always a little bit reluctant to using agencies because obviously there's always a fee associated with it. Do you know what your fee is at the moment?
I mean, it's debatable. We can work that out after I can give you all the information. We can work on that go back and forth, and we can just discuss that on the next meeting if you'd like.
Okay, yeah, that sounds reasonable. But as a ballpark though, do you have a ballpark number? What we might be looking at?
I mean, it depends on what you're needing. But right now, I guess we can work around. I mean, it depends on what you're really looking for, honestly. I can't give you a number right now, say to speak.
That's a really good answer. You did exceptionally well at deflecting away from giving a finite number, and I think that was really good. That actually you did well under pressure because I doubled down on that as well. I think you did well. How I would spin that ever so slightly differently is say, well, you know what, we want to bring the best value to you, but let me show you our core skills, and then we can have a talk about the numbers afterwards if you're satisfied with what we present in the first go round. But yeah, you did well.
Yeah, I was always told never to show your hand.
Yeah, you did well. Played that one well.
Robert, before you put the phone down with Robin, I would really push him to get that next meeting on the schedule. Just while I've got you 2 minutes, Robin, do you mind if we look at your schedule real quick while you've got your calendar open? Because I'm busy as well. What would work for you in the next couple of days for me to follow up?
Yeah, and I was gonna say that, but I was also gonna say, okay, well, if I don't hear from you, I'll definitely reach back out. So
yeah, and that sounds good. And I think what you could also highlight as well, you should recognize to the client and say, look, I understand that this is obviously a very important role for you, and so I appreciate that it needs the time. So just whenever you've got the time, we'd like to connect, and as quickly as possible. The sooner we get moving with this, the faster we can help you.
gotcha. And create an understanding, like I understand we're all busy.
Yeah, that sounds good. Sounds good.
Your time is just as precious as theirs. It's not this, it's this. You're even keel.
Yeah.
Got it.
The clients will try and treat you like this as you're here. You're face to face, you're adding value, you're adding a service, just the same as they are to whatever their clients are as well.
Sounds good. Paul, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to drop off because I'm going to have to run to the restroom. Then I've got Heather at 2.
Yeah.
If the guys ask for anything, can you if you just ping it in the chat, like as a reminder, and then if there's any actions, it almost acts as a minute. Even though with the recording, we'll look at it as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Jerry, Robert, good to see you again, and I'll be talking with you shortly. Thanks, guys. Bye for now. Bye.
Bye.
I have a question. Are these like if they're already working with a staffing company, are they can they work with other staffing companies as well?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Most of the time they will be.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's one of the objections. Remember on one of the slides, I've already got a staffing agency, and that's where you have to talk about your differentiator. But the other thing, the added value here is that if I was talking to you, Jerry, as a client, I'd say, I'd probably ask you that. Are you using any other agencies right now? And you'd say, yes, actually, I've got 2 on it. Do you mind me asking how far along they are with the process? So role play with me now, and I'll just pick up from here. So Jerry, do you use any other agencies right now?
I do. I have a couple others I'm using right now.
Okay, and how long have you done business with them?
One a long time, and another is just fairly recent. Okay.
Do you mind me asking how far along in the process you are right now for the sales manager role?
That's just it. why I'm talking to you. I mean, we're not. Seems to
Okay,
be
so you're at the
seems to be
start.
some difficulty in filling this role.
I kind of picked up something you said there about that. Are you struggling to fill this role? Is
Yes.
that the problem?
Yeah, and
Why is that?
I don't know. It's um, I can't really put my finger on it. It's got plenty of income potential, and um, I don't know. Maybe the culture. I just don't know.
Do you think that you're paying a relevant salary right now?
I do.
Okay, and you've done that kind of market mapping
Yeah,
data.
yeah. I think
You
it's
see what I'm asking for here, guys.
people.
I'm seeing if he needs market mapping while I'm on the side here. I'm just pulling a service in, but I'm not telling him yet.
Okay.
How long have you had the role open for?
Been 9 weeks now.
9 weeks. Ouch.
And it may be that people just want to tend to want to it's an outside position, and
Okay.
I think it's the mindset nowadays. People don't really want to be driving around, but yet I know that there's still a whole wide body of those persons that are willing to do that and desirous of doing that. So I can't tell you why the role's not getting filled.
No, I understand. Yeah, we've got a lot of clients so what I'm doing here, I totally understand. So I'm being empathetic, and now I'm going to say we've got other clients that have got the same problem, but I can give you several success stories where we've actually managed to find people, right? So that's that success story closed that I'm pulling in here. It's relevant right now. And that's how I would present it. Say, Jerry, totally understand that we've got a few clients that are going through the same thing. It's hard to find people, period, nowadays, but I can promise you we've got some very, very happy and delighted clients with some of the people that we found for them, especially in the sales manager roles. So I'm pretty sure that we can help you. But what would that look like in terms, what's your internal process for, terms and conditions and things like that? How long does it take to get feedback on resumes? Are you the hiring manager? What's your kind of internal process look like? And what I've done there is I've just thrown the front door wide open. Now he's got to talk and talk and talk and talk. He's going to spill his beans here.
Okay, so yeah, I wouldn't know how to answer that, but if I was to ask that of you, so how would you say that again? What's your internal process like?
Yeah, what's your internal process like, and like your hiring process? Who's involved? What's your typical turnaround for feedback on resumes when we send them? How long does it take to get an offer out to people? I'm trying to gauge an internal process standpoint. What does that look like?
Okay, so all right, and then yeah,
And then you're going to waffle, and I'm picking points up from that, right? Because I'm listening for pain. That's what I'm listening for.
right.
So if you say, it's been open for 9 weeks, I can't find anyone. It could be a cultural, it could be a salary problem, but you can't really put your finger on it, right? So I already know that I've got this nailed now. So I'll say, Jerry, look, it's not going to cost you anything to look at any resumes from us. But obviously I would want to sign some kind of terms and conditions from a confidentiality standpoint, but we've got some great candidates. The difference with us is that we've got some very, very specialist recruiters. We're not a generalist, what we call a generalist company. We specialize in salespeople, anywhere from junior sales all the way through to VP sales. But the added benefit is that we do cultural assessments and we do profile behavioral assessments through DISC, which can be sent to you before you even interview people. And then post employment, once they're with you, we can actually offer ongoing training and support for salespeople. We actually have a platform to do that as well. So that's like a very strong added benefit on our side.
I had a question, but I forgot it. Okay, so
So you're the client right now, Jerry. How do you feel in terms of pressure? Do you feel pressured right now?
no, I remember my
Very
question though.
natural.
Yeah, I wanted to a little bit of pressure, a little bit. I want to ask, do they, when they get the terms and conditions, the contract, they don't give us any money to start,
No.
They-
Terms and conditions are just so we can send resumes.
right?
The
But
only time they pay us is
but
when
they-
we place somebody there
well,
successfully.
we're not getting a retainer. We get paid when we find an employee.
I'm gonna start working you towards an exclusive situation now, because you've got a very, very strong pain point. It's been open for 9 weeks. It's clearly not going anywhere. You've got 2 agencies, one of which you've known for a long time, and they're not performing clearly. So I'm not going to hit you with exclusivity right now. I'm going to wait for you to ask me about pricing, and then that's when I can start playing. And that's to Robert's point before, when you were asking about when you were getting pressured. I'll show you how I handle that now. So Jerry, if I pop you over some terms and conditions, and it doesn't cost you anything to look at resumes at all. If you think the resumes are terrible, you can send them back, and we'll all move on. But I'm pretty confident we can find the person you're looking for. So if I send them over to you, what's the kind of turnaround time for terms and conditions? And they are very basic, by the way, but I'm sure you want your legal people to look over. What's your turnaround time for terms and conditions?
2 business days. Just send it
Okay.
over. We got it right away.
Okay. So we're on Thursday right now. So could I expect them back by Monday close of business, and then I can start, because that gives me a bit of time to look at the position, get the recruiters working, see if we've got in our database, and
Well, it's only noon where I am, so if you send them out today, I'm sure I could get it back by close of business tomorrow. But
oh great.
but
Okay.
Monday, I'll reserve Monday for the latest. But yeah,
Perfect.
we could get them right away. But it's not, you're not going to ask me for any money up front, are you?
Any what, sorry?
You're not going to ask me for any money up front, are you? There's
No,
retainer.
no, there's no money up front. No, not at all. No, it's
So like
same
everybody,
as your other agencies, we work on a contingent basis unless we agree to move to a different model, which we do. We have different models, obviously.
okay. So yeah, send it over and I'll take a gander. And bottom line is, if you help me get this role filled, then it'd be worth it.
Okay. Jerry, what's your typical terms in terms of fees that you're with, obviously I don't want you to tell me what they're confidential information, but from a fee perspective, as a percentage of salary, which is how we make our money, where is your mind at in terms of getting this role filled? How important it is to you, and what you're willing to pay?
Well, I got a budget, so I'm going to stick to the. We've done the numbers, and the offering is commensurate with similar in the industry across the board, and so what's your question? Fees, but so I'm just I think the standard fee agreement in the industry is what I would want to stick with.
Okay, is that 25%, 30%?
Well, we'd have to talk about it. I mean, if you might have a graduated scale, or one based on performance. I don't know.
Okay, so this is where I'll introduce the other types of, models that we do. That's where I would bring this in, and I would say, Jerry, typically we would start 25 to 30% for the first role, and that's of the package value at the end of the year. So if it's $100,000 salary, we'll charge you $30,000 as a fee, right? I've got to get the recruiters working quick on this, and I've got to get them working fast. You've had it open for 9 weeks. I'm sure that's quite painful. So how does 30% sound to you for the first one off the bat? Obviously, if there's volume and there's other stuff further down the line, we can certainly talk about volume discounts and things like that.
And that's for 12 months.
It depends on your volume.
I mean, typically, how typically what is the time frame? It's not forever. It doesn't go on forever. Eventually that
They're typically evergreen. But if you were to say to me, you know, Paul, if we hire typically 10 people a year, for example, then we can talk about adjusting the fees accordingly, like as a volume discount. But obviously I'd need some kind of exclusivity around that, if we were to lower the fees, but that's something that I can work with you.
But typically in the industry, Paul, if we're getting 25% of their salary, does that go on for the entire duration of their employment, or is it
No, it's a one-time fee.
it's a one-time fee? I see.
Yeah.
Based on 12 months.
Based on forever.
Okay, so break that down. So 25% of one salary. You said you came up with a number a minute ago. If they're getting they're earning 100,000.
So Rob, I'm going to place Robert with you. You're the sales director. I'm going to place Robert with you as a sales manager. Your salary offering to Robert is $100,000, and we're recruiting and placing him with you. And so the 25% roughly is the average across the board, 20 to 25%, and that'll be 20 to 25% of the salary. So it'll be between $20,000 and $25,000 as a one-time fee. Then when Robert goes and places with that company, that's it until we know otherwise.
And what if Robert leaves after 6 months?
Our guarantee period is only 3 months.
Okay, that's what I thought. All right.
Yeah.
So okay.
Yeah. If they want 6 months, then they have to pay more money.
Sure. Okay.
And you can explain that with, you know, if we have to replace Robert after 4 months, for example, that we're gonna have to get the recruiters back on there. So we'd have to hold some money back for that type, which we do. That's what we do. That's how I'd explain it to a client. But we'd have to charge you a slightly increased fee. If we're increasing to 6 months.
You know, I was recruited once, and the deal was 750 hours. I was the staffing agency's employee for 750 hours, and after those hours were fulfilled, then the employer had the option of taking me on and being their employee, and that contract ended, or just you know, I didn't stay on with them, but I did always stay on. But it was 750 hours, and they got a percentage of, because my earnings were different each pay period. It was based on I had a small base, and I had a large compensation plan, different packages of different bonuses and so forth.
Yeah.
And they got a percentage of that of what I earned. So
So there's temporary recruitment, and then there's permanent recruitment.
okay.
So and we do both. It's just if you do temporary recruitment, the fees are still as high, but obviously you're pulling it on an hourly basis over a week or a month.
Okay.
You don't get that big hit like you do with permanent recruitment.
Okay.
But we do both. We do temporary and permanent.
They'll come together.
Yeah.
More I get into it. Think about a week, I think, pitch it and get the marbles out of your mouth.
Say that again.
Take a few pitches, you know, half a dozen conversations before they get the marbles out of your mouth and start to sound like an expert.
Yeah, it's very natural once you. I mean, it's you know, when Robin started, he said to me he was struggling a little bit because he didn't know anything about staffing, and I said, just try and sell me staffing services, and he gave me the best sales pitch I've ever heard. No, because he's been in sales, he's comfortable with talking about clients, and we've all been around staffing. We've all had recruitment agencies call us, or we've called into agencies, or we've had friends that do it. So principally, we understand what that looks like. So all you got to do is understand a few of the mechanics just to start selling it, and that's really is just to get the client to understand who we are and what value we bring to the table. They'll give you the business from there.
Okay. It's because it doesn't cost them anything to sign up with us, but it's
No.
when we find an employee.
No, and I just put in the chat there just to catch on the recording to Robin to send some basic terms and conditions showing our fee percentages.
Okay,
And that's how you can negotiate with if they want a longer notice period, sorry, a longer guarantee period, then the fees need to go up. If they're willing to come down on that, the fees can come down. If they're willing to pay us in 10 days instead of 30 days, we can knock a couple of percentage points off
Sure.
for that, you know. So it's all, you know, push and pull, working together to come up with the best deal.
and we have the latitude to tailor something to what works for them, right?
Say that again.
We have the latitude to tailor something.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I said it at the start, right? At the very start of the presentation, everything that I've seen go wrong in a staffing agency is what we're fixing, and that's the flexibility. You've got to be flexible. How can you just say no? We only do this, and we're not. That doesn't fit every client, you know. So we have to be flexible, but we also ask that the client be flexible as well, and that's part of the. You know, I'm willing to be flexible if you can be flexible with me. And they'll say, well, what does that mean? You know, well, you know, if you want X, then I need Y to offset that. And it depends on what that is. So I just suggest, like, you know, start getting the introductions out. I wouldn't do any cold calling at all. I don't think that works in this day and age. People don't like that. I would just, like, when Robin pulls them leads and he sends to you, get straight on to LinkedIn, and then you can go to fastpeoplesearch.com and you'll be able to pull their cell phones and their email addresses. A lot of people will put their email addresses on LinkedIn anyway. But you know, if they're at ABC Marketing, okay, if you pull a list of everybody that works at ABC Marketing on LinkedIn, one of them is going to have their email address, right? So it might be paul.ratcliffe@ABC Marketing. Well, you know how that is worked, then it's first name dot second name at. Right? So you can take a wild guess and go, okay, Robert's there, so is going to be Robert.Denihan@ABC, you know, and then you'll probably get it right.
Yeah, the one I'm looking at now, like they have all their internal people blocked. So I'm gonna have to do a little bit more searching on this one. But they have, like I said, they have like 9 positions open that they're trying to fill, and they're all junior marketing associates and above.
Okay, well, let me open a new window here.
And with that, should I just email them and get their info and stuff like that? If they want to set something up the first time, just send them to you guys, or
well, let's just get rid of this.
and they're a management company. I'm not sure if that makes a difference.
Yeah, I'm just going to share my screen and we'll run through one live. I'm not doing that anymore. Okay. So what's the company name?
Touching Gold Management.
Touching Gold
Management. Yeah.
Tampa, Florida.
Yeah, but they're looking for positions everywhere, I'm assuming. But I think that's their home base.
Okay, so there they are on LinkedIn.
If you scroll all the way down, it has like it says people on there, but it doesn't have them like available to look at.
These.
Yeah. Well, if you scroll down. Oh, so for you, it shows it. For me, it doesn't. It just says LinkedIn member. Some of those people you can see on mine, I can't look at them.
Like this. Yeah, I mean, I don't pay for anything on LinkedIn, but there'll always be somebody. The other thing you can do is
I was just gonna Google the company and then search like CEO or HR recruiting or whatever.
Yeah, the other thing is
Who they are.
look at like Glassdoor. So let's go to Glassdoor.
Yeah, I looked at the reviews and looked at the pros and cons and stuff like that.
So there's always names in here that you can pick up. The other thing is if you go to their website itself, where is that? Well, let's just go back on there. I'm sure it'll be on. Advertising services, retail brand management firm. So let's see if they've got. So there's the website, right? So you go to the website. Oh, it's not working. touchinggoldmanagement.com. There's the phone number. Okay, so the website is down for some reason.
Gotcha. So should I just message them through LinkedIn on their actual page and then try to find the person that like works with them and reach out to that person then too?
Yeah, yeah. Or you can, you can just find. So how I go about it is, I go to somebody like Crystal, or well, she's a senior biostatistician. Okay, maybe she'll be helpful. So I'll go to Crystal, and I'll connect like that. Bonk, connect with them, and then I will send a message. Once you've connected, it's free, and just say, hey, I'm trying to get hold of someone at Golden Touch. I've seen that your website is actually down. Just trying to get hold of somebody either in HR, or I'm looking at, to try and find a hiring manager.
Gotcha.
So if you look at jobs, is this where it was?
I found it through Indeed, actually. I mainly go through there and I find it, and then I go straight to LinkedIn, or I just Google the information from there and start doing deep dives
I saw that.
when I'm trying to, I guess, snipe companies.
Yeah, here we go.
Yeah, they have 9 job openings and a bunch of other stuff. Looks like it's a lot of temp stuff though.
Browse jobs at Touching Gold Management. Yeah, so I would brand ambassador. So
Should I go with something with a little bit more high positions instead of that?
No, I mean, you can go for that if you want to. Here's a good thing when you're going for small companies like that, is that this is where you want to mess up, if you're going to mess up, and just test it on them. You'll find if you go in with that mentality, you'll end up with the frigging work though, because you'll go in and you kind of have I don't care attitude, I don't need you, and then they'll want to use you.
I mainly looked at it as they have more than one position. Maybe we can get exclusivity on every one of them.
Yeah,
That's what I was looking at it at.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I would touch base with somebody on LinkedIn, go on to Instagram, follow this, get stuff from here, and you start building that research. So when you start talking to someone, get a list of the jobs which you have, see if they've got any issues. Touching Gold Management Group, see there's the filing in Florida. You can look at that real quick. So there's active. So they've just been reinstated. That was in 2024. They just reinstated the business. Or something has happened in the past. This looks like a person's individual address.
Well, it's probably under LLC, most likely. Or is that
It's
no, it's incorporated. Never mind. Yeah. Usually LLCs, I'll put it with random addresses.
Yeah. Offices is the office, it's the same. Director. So you've got president, secretary, treasurer, and director is all Luciana. Whoever that is, hers, you can look at the filing report. So
pretty much just search that lady's name up and go from there.
I think it's a guy actually, because I think it was. He was on here. So you look at people.
Definitely don't want to make that mistake.
There it is. Oh, it is a woman. Yeah.
Okay.
There she is.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So you can follow her, and then I connect with them, send. And you can bang out. I mean, I don't do it anymore. I mean, I've got to be careful. I forgot how many I've got now. Yeah, I've got 17,500. You can only go to 30,000, so I'm very careful about who I connect with
Gotcha.
now. But yeah, just connect with her and just tell her something. So with somebody like that, that's a female and she's fairly young. I'd say congratulations on your clear achievements to date. You're obviously growing, and I'm an ex-marketing specialist, and I've moved over to the recruitment side, and I noticed you've got some openings out there. How would you feel about discussing it, see what she says. Worst
Okay.
thing, she says, no, I'm good. You can say, okay, and then you've got somewhere to pull from.
Gotcha. Sounds good.
Yeah. And then if you need it on the calls, happy to jump on the calls as well. But yeah, and we can sit here all day long and do a million different,
Yeah, there's thousands of them out there.
millions of different ones. But your research is key. Just do your research and pull that information, get it listed down, so when you talk to them, you know what and pull it off and put it onto a spreadsheet or a Word document, because they may call you out of the blue. And while you're answering the phone, like, oh my God, they're calling, you can get it on your screen and start pulling it up.
I would input it in Pipedrive. I mean, I feel
Yeah,
like that would be the easiest way to keep it, that or an Excel
Yeah.
spreadsheet, but then you start getting really combobulated with that.
Just
When do we get that the license key for the Pipedrive?
that's what I'm just putting in the chat now, so Robin can pick it up. Pipedrive access. I don't know. I've never logged into Pipedrive. That's Robin's baby that he's used in the past. So I'll ask him to. I've got basic terms and conditions, and I've got Pipedrive access, and then I think he's.
Pipedrive is just for us to keep track of everything. It's not necessarily that we have to utilize it, right?
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, we prefer that because it's all central, but
Gotcha.
but it's whatever's best for you. This is what's best for you guys. So we're
Gotcha.
trying to make it as simple as possible.
It's mainly so we don't get like emails mixed up and stuff like that. If you send leads over through an email and we're just like, where's it at?
Right, exactly. Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to run through?
I'm good. I just need to
Good.
slow down.
We're not going it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, you did great. Everything you were saying was relevant, but just you went through three things really fast. Which I understand. You're also rushing because you're on the call with us, and it's an example.
Yeah.
But just slow down. And
I'll be honest, nerves got the best of me.
no, of course. Yeah. I mean, I still get nervous on every phone call. But you don't look nervous, Robert, at all. It doesn't show. So yeah, just the key is just be yourself. Even if that means you're nervous, just be yourself. That will go a lot further with people if you show your true colors rather than trying to act and try and be something that you're not. So
Got it.
Jerry, is there anything else you want to go through, sir, while you've
No, I'm good.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we're not going anywhere. If you get into the weekend, you're like, I'd love to run through a scenario, or want to be an a-hole client and see how they react with that, or whatever. Just ping me. We can always hop on a 30-minute call.
Sure.
I'm around all weekend. I'm working all the way through Sunday. I'm starting a consulting gig next week, but Robin's still here. I'm still in the background. So just let us know what you need.
Okay, and all right, but the CRM, we don't have to use Pipedrive. We can use a different one if we want.
Yeah, you can. Yeah. I mean, it's all of this is for you. It's not for us.
Okay,
It's for you guys to make it as efficient as possible. But if you feel it's more efficient, I mean, Robbie might kick me in the backside for saying that because I think he wants everything central so we can all keep up with it. But just talk to Robin. But if you need to keep notes that's fast and easily accessible, if you do that in a different way, then that's fine with me. Ultimately, we want you to be as efficient as possible. So when that phone call comes in, you can get to it fast. That's what it's all about.
okay, and you're gonna send over all the leads and everything.
Yeah, Robin's going to start. Yeah, he's putting he was working on that this morning, but start putting these together. So we've got all of these different channels going right now. So some of them will be where we scrape job boards, some of them will be where we've made initial contact, some where they've replied and said, yes, we're interested, but we'll let you know that. But the majority right now is cold front that's coming. That's always the majority because
Good.
There's very few that write back and say, "Oh, we'd love to use you," and it's a numbers game. It's 5%, So
okay, so you feeling better?
yeah, still got sore throat and everything, but
You can
a lot
tell.
better than I was. I flat my back for 24 hours. It was horrendous.
Patient zero, bringing stuff back.
Tell Robin that,
Awful.
I'm ready to start making calls.
Bloody Canadians.
I want to, I don't want to let the fire die, so. As soon as he gets this, everything for me, I'll start making calls.
Yeah, okay.
Fair enough?
Email, LinkedIn, get introduced, and then start talking to people, guys. And
All
just
these
keep-
leads gonna be from various places, like specialties, manufacturing, oil.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So Robin's got all of this stuff coming in. He's trying to filter it down to preferably where you're located first, in case anybody wants to see someone face to face. So it's within a certain radius of where you are. And then as we start moving along, you're very generalist right now. We're trying to capture everything so you can make money. But if you get particular like Robert, we've talked a lot about marketing. I think that's where you should really focus your efforts. So yeah, that'll happen over time. We'll work with you on that to keep building out your business plans.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right, guys.
Okay, we'll talk soon then, I guess.
Yeah. All right. Well, if I don't speak to you, have a great Easter weekend. Happy Easter to both of you. And look what Robin just got me. Woo, winner.
I gotta
I was
hop
just
off
saying-
real quick. I got something that just came up.
Yeah, no problem. I was just saying, have a great Easter weekend.
You guys as well.
Yeah.
See you later.
Take
Have a
care.
good one.
Thanks, Paul. Thanks so much, Paul, for everything.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
All right, talk soon.
Yep.